Chapter 1 Classification, and the topic is Characteristics of Living Things. There are many things around us. Some of them we have classified as living things and others as non-living things. So what exactly are the criteria that a thing has to fulfill to be classified as living or non-living? There are 7 such characteristics of a living thing. We use an acronym Mrs. Gren to remember their names. Here each letter stands for the name of that characteristic. For example, M stands for movement, R for respiration, S for sensitivity, G for growth, R for reproduction, E for excretion, and N for nutrition. Movement is an action by an organism or part of an organism causing change of position or place. Movement is essential for growth, reproduction, and the survival of an organism. Animals show active locomotion by walking, swimming, jumping, or flying, while plants are not capable of active locomotion, but they exhibit movements such as turning towards light or their roots growing towards water. Another very important characteristic of living things is respiration. All living things require a constant and adequate supply of energy for their movement, growth, and other life processes. This energy is stored in the chemical bonds of organic molecules such as glucose and is released during respiration. Sometimes it happens in the presence of oxygen when it is called aerobic respiration, and sometimes in the absence of oxygen, then it is called anaerobic respiration. So respiration is all the chemical reactions in cells that break down nutrient molecules and release energy for metabolism. Now the question arises whether respiration is same like breathing. The answer is no. Both are different processes. Breathing is a physical process that happens at organs level. Nose and lungs are involved, where respiration is a biochemical process and it happens at the cellular level. Breathing is just exchange of gases, like we breathe in oxygen-rich air and we breathe out carbon dioxide-rich air, where respiration is a complex process and it involves different enzymes to release energy from the nutrients, while enzymes are not involved in breathing. Breathing uses energy and respiration releases energy. Another important point here is that breathing word or this term we can use only for animals. For others like plants and bacteria, we use the word gaseous exchange. Sensitivity in simple terms means that we can detect the changes in our surroundings and then we respond to them. It allows organisms to interact with their surroundings, perceive changes, and make appropriate responses. All organisms can respond to light, temperature, touch, chemicals, and various other stimuli. Animals and humans have specialized sensory organs to do so, such as we have eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell, tongue for tasting, and skin for feeling. Plants do not have such specialized sense organs, but they do respond to external stimuli of light, water, chemicals, and touch. For example, opening and closing of flowers with light, movement of leaves, especially in touch-me-not plant, when you touch it. And then the roots also grow towards the source of water. So basically, sensitivity helps all organisms to thrive and survive in their surroundings. So a formal definition of sensitivity is the ability of the organisms to detect or sense stimuli in the internal or external environment and to make appropriate responses. Growth is a permanent increase in size and dry mass by an increase in cell number or cell size or both. It is one of the fundamental and a dynamic characteristic of living organisms. The multicellular organisms such as humans, animals, and plants, they show increase in the number of cells while growing. In single cell organisms such as bacteria, the cell grows in size before dividing into two. Growth not only means that the animals, plants, and humans are getting larger in size, but it also means that their cells are becoming more complex. Reproduction means organisms are able to make new organisms of the same species as themselves. It's another vital process to help in the continuity of the species. It means species can survive for many generations and it does not become extinct. There are different ways in which living things can reproduce. For example, some animals and humans give birth to babies. Some animals lay eggs. Plants produce seeds, and some of them produce spores as well. All living things create waste products as a result of different life processes. If this waste material remains in the living things, it would cause illness and death. Therefore, excretion is removal of all the waste products of metabolism, the toxic materials, and substances in excess of requirement. Some of the examples of excretion in living things are humans and animals, they excrete waste through sweat, urine, or feces. Birds excrete uric acid in a semi-solid paste form and conserve water. Plants excrete oxygen and certain organic materials such as resins, latex, and gums. Fish excrete ammonia. Fungi excrete certain enzymes from the ends of their hyphae. Amoeba excrete through vacuoles. The question arises whether egestion and excretion both are same. The answer is no. Egestion refers specifically to the elimination of undigested or indigestible materials from the body. It involves the elimination from the rectum as feces, and the organ involved is anus. Excretion is a broader term. It means elimination of metabolic waste products, including substances produced by cellular processes throughout the body. It involves the removal of waste products such as nitrogenous compounds like urea, ammonia, uric acid, some excess salts, or other byproducts of metabolism. The organs involved are skin, lungs, kidneys, anus in animals, but in plants they do not have specific organs for excretion, so it usually happens through the tiny pores on leaves, which are called stomata. All living things require energy to survive and carry on various other life processes. This energy is derived from the nutrients that they get from food. Plants and certain bacteria, they can make their own food using water, carbon dioxide via a chemical reaction called photosynthesis. Whereas animals, they depend for their food on external sources, either by eating plants or other animals. So nutrition is taking in of materials for energy, growth, and development. Now it's your time. Check your progress by answering some questions. The answers are given at the end of the video.